Welcome everyone to the Mount Hood National Forest in Oregon. I've got something extra special today. This is the most remote work setup I have ever put together. We are completely off the grid. I've got a full desk setup behind me here. We've got stuff for gaming, productivity, and work. I'm really excited to get into it. I do want to give a quick thank you to Anker SOLIX for sponsoring this week's video and making this whole idea possible. I've got the F2000 power station behind me along with a solar panel that's powering all of this. I'm going to walk you through the setup and what I've got going on. This is easily the most silly video and setup I've ever done. So this is the desk setup. As you can see here, I brought in a few luxuries from home. Going over here, I've got my MacBook Pro. If I do want to get any work done, I've got my gaming laptop. This is the Lenovo Legion. I've got an extra portable external monitor here. I even brought a nice little wool desk mat from home to use just to add that little extra bit of class and comfort. I've got my XR glasses with me. I've got a game controller. I've got my full mouse and mechanical keyboard. I even brought little coasters for my beverages. You got to keep it classy. Got my little travel router here, so I have a full network set up. There's an ant crawling around on my desk right now. I almost forgot actually too. I've got a nice little setup here for my headphones. And I even used some of my clamps for a little bit of cable management in the back. That pretty much covers the main desk setup. I have a few other things attached to this. I have an electric fridge running with some lunch and snacks and drinks. It is super hot out here, if you can't tell from the sun hoodie and the sweat that is dripping off of me right now. Got a new addition to the setup to help keep everything charged and top off as well. This is the Anker SOLIX solar panel, the PS400, I believe. So with the fridge, we can cook some lunch, play some games, get some work done. I'd originally planned to do this as a longer multi-day camping trip. I was going to create the video from start to finish entirely off-grid out in the woods and just see how long I could last or how long the batteries could last, but unfortunately, Oregon is littered with wildfires right now. It's unfortunately hazy with really bad air quality. Not too bad to be out for a few hours for a day trip like this, but it was just unfortunately a little bit too bad for my original plans. I had to pivot a bit away from the full camping trip that I had planned. I think that would have been a ton of fun. Maybe we'll do it sometime down the road, but still getting the desk set up and having some fun out in the woods. I don't know if you can even see with all of the haze, but Mount Hood is right here behind us. Really beautiful out here though, even if it is a little bit warm. I'm going to take a couple minutes here and explain some of the specifics and details of the Anker SOLIX F2000. Like I said, the main brain of the entire setup here is the Anker SOLIX F2000. I've had it for about a year now and it has been absolutely incredible. It has 2,048 watt hours of capacity and is expandable up to 4,096 watt hours with the extension battery. That's the BP2000 that I have sitting on top of it over there. It can drop to 2,400 watts from it with a 3,600 watt surge. More than enough to power everything here with an electric fridge and laptops and everything. I even brought a hot plate to cook up some lunch later. Tons of headroom for just about anything you can think of for camping or even for home use if you have a power outage for major appliances and everything like that. Connectivity is great. You have 4 AC ports, 3 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports, 2 12-volt car adapter ports, and 1 TT30 port for RV usage. So if you're not a tent camper like I usually am, or a backpacker, you can actually plug in your entire RV into this setup. Really great if you want to get to some awesome off-grid camping spots like this, or if you want to avoid paying extra fees for electric hookups at more established campgrounds. Recharging speeds are absolutely crazy. You can recharge up to 1,440 watts with the AC port. You can also get up to 1,000 watts of charging with the solar. I have one 400 watt panel in there right now with terrible conditions. It's mixed with clouds and haze. I'm charging somewhere between like 80 and 250 watts, depending on what the sun's doing right now. But you can get up to 1,000 if you want to really lay this out with a bunch of solar panels. It is wild. It's relatively small for such a large capacity, but definitely not a tiny unit at all. It comes out to 67 pounds. They actually have what they call an easy tow handle built in. It's almost like a luggage trolley handle that pulls out. It makes it really easy to be able to wheel this thing around campgrounds. You have some pretty beefy wheels on there with a little bit of tread, so it can handle things like gravel and rocks and grass and everything, no problem. I've been wheeling this thing all over the Pacific Northwest for a year now. It has been awesome. You also have a really great smart app to be able to monitor all the usage. I've been using it for a while. It operates perfectly. You know, sometimes these smaller third-party apps aren't great. This one has been excellent for me, and it's really handy, especially I took this on a winter camp. When you're bundled up in your sleeping bag and you don't want to get out to change something on there, you can control almost everything remotely, which is awesome. On that note as well, for the winter camps, when it gets dark out, you actually have an ambient light on the top, which is really great for camping. It lights up the tent pretty well. Also really good in the case of a power outage at home, so you can see a little bit more easily around the area. You have a 5-year warranty. It uses lithium iron phosphate batteries that are EV grade. It's rated up to 3,000 charge cycles. This thing is built to last. Build quality is excellent. The batteries that they're using are excellent. Just all in all, it has been an amazing thing to have in the setup. Extremely essential for like fun camping stuff like this, but even better for, you know, emergency situations and power outages and everything. I've been having a blast with it the past year, and I'm really looking forward to a redo of my original idea for this video of just an extended time, you know, working outdoors and living off of the battery and solar panels. If you do want to check it out for yourself, though, Anker SOLIX is running some promotions right now for Fan Day, so be sure to check the links in the description down below. Got a bunch more to get into for the video to have some fun with the setup, but I just want to make sure that you're aware. Check it out if you want to learn more, pick one up for yourself. I can't wait. But with that in mind, before we actually get into some gaming, I think I'm going to have some lunch really quick. It was a longer drive out here, and we are running a little bit late compared to what I'd planned for the schedule. So I'm going to get some lunch cooking, have that, and then we're going to get into gaming and maybe a little bit of work after that. We are up 1% on the battery from where we had started with the solar input, so we are a net positive. Something I did not anticipate with this setup, though, is there are ants all over this desk. Thought we'd do a little bit of story time while we get some games set up and going. I actually do have 1 bar of 5G service from my phone, so I have that tethered to my travel router right now and connected into my laptop. I just got Counter-Strike installed a couple of days ago. It's the first time I've played it in probably like 18 years. I am absolutely terrible. It felt fitting though for this idea because, like I said, I have a little bit of story time. This really brings me back to some nostalgia in my teen years. Back when I was a teenager, me and my friends were huge console gamers, and we'd always set up LAN parties to play like Halo and Halo 2. We'd lug around these giant CRT monitors, like 25, 32-inch CRT TVs to each other's houses to set up and play like 8, 12, 16 player Halo. It was awesome, but a huge pain to lug all of that gear around. It's crazy how much the tech has changed now, but there's one specific story that I wanted to bring up that I thought about when I was doing all of this. One of my friends had a birthday party that was like an outdoor backyard camping type of birthday party, but we still wanted to play Halo. So we all brought our TVs outside and just ran a bunch of extension cords into the backyard. It was so bright though for the dim TVs that we hung up blankets to be able to block out the sun. That is just the level of nerd I was when I was like 15, 16, 17, and I definitely don't regret it at all. And this is just bringing up some real nostalgia. I'm not sure if the screen's actually showing up on the other camera, but I was able to load into Counter-Strike. I have no idea if this is actually going to work. I'm just going to do a practice round because I am completely terrible. I actually don't know how to screen record on Windows. Do I have to use OBS, or is there built-in software like there is on the Mac? I've had quite the learning curve trying to figure out Windows lately, but it has been a ton of fun. Tried to rearrange the camera. I have no idea if this is working or not, but I am in the game and it is playing. We've got 168 frames per second going right now. This is just completely wild to be out in the wilderness. Like I said, this whole idea is pretty ridiculous, but I thought it'd be a lot of fun for a video, and it'd be a good way to really like test the limits of the Anker SOLIX. Because these gaming laptops are laptops, but they do draw a lot of power. All right, got 1 kill. much better against the bots than I am in a real game. But the power generators, I was on the fence for quite a few years, and I'm so glad I finally have one. One thing that I've been really wanting to add into the setup is an e-bike. So being able to, bring an e-bike when I'm camping and being able to charge it up is going to be really nice. Let me know if you want to see any e-bike reviews or anything. I get contacted all the time, but some of them seem like junk, and then I also am just unsure how they would really fit into the channel. So you have to let me know if that's something you're interested in, because I definitely am. Won the round again, MVP again. This is a good testament to the travel router as well. I know when I talked about that before, a lot of people were very confused with what the point of it is and why don't you just get a mobile hotspot? There's so many other things that you can do with it. Being able to connect everything here. I plugged it, got an ant on me. I plugged it in and everything was instantly connected. Got my phone tethered. You also have just like VPN options and a ton of other customization and privacy stuff compared to a hotspot. Now, you use a hotspot in conjunction with the router, not in place of. So, something to keep in mind. Oh, I died. Okay. Too much talking, not enough playing to actually be effective. But while I'm waiting for the next round, let me know what you think of this format. I know everyone's always asking for me to do more like out of the studio type of stuff. I realize this is a little bit silly and a little bit different from what we normally do, but I thought it'd be such a fun idea. It's still a bummer that I couldn't do my full camping trip idea like I'd planned. I think I could have lived out here indefinitely with the solar panel and the battery. I think the recharge would have been greater overall over the course of a day than the discharge, even running a fridge and running the camera gear and running laptops and all of that sort of stuff. I'd love to try and repeat this sometime when the entire state's not on fire and just see if I'm able to pull that off and finish a video, completely start to finish with editing and everything out in the woods. I think that would be just so much fun. I've been doing way more car camping this year than I normally do. I usually do way more backpacking than this, but it has just been really fun to be able to test and do some crazier challenge things like the winter camp earlier this year, setting this whole thing up. I think there is some merit for, these different types of formats. I know we get pretty formal, I feel like, on the main, channel and the main regular videos, and I enjoy it that way, and you all seem to enjoy it as well. But, I'm not on social media, so I feel like sometimes a little bit more disconnected to all of you than I'd like. So, send me an email or leave more comments or anything, anytime. I would love to hear from you. It's always great when I hear from any of you. I should probably get back on social media for that purpose alone, but I left a few years back and just have had a really nice time not being on it. Next month, I am planning an update to my entire main home desk setup. I really am looking forward to that. It's usually one of the bigger videos through the whole year for me. Ton of fun doing those sorts of things. I've been looking at some different peripherals and new things. I got some more gaming centric things here that I've been testing that I've been really enjoying. I got a proper gaming keyboard instead of my bigger ergonomic mouse. And then I've got a Hall effect switch keyboard I'm testing right now, which has been really good so far. I'm about a week in on the testing and really enjoying it. So a bit of time has passed. I got completely destroyed playing Counter-Strike. Like I said, I am completely terrible after not playing for 17, 18 years. I'm not a big FPS guy. I usually play more story-based games, a lot of action-adventure RPG types of things. Really fun to test out the setup though. I'm definitely planning to come back and redo this when I can actually go camping. As of right now though, it's smoky. I'm getting cooked by the sun. It's hot and sweaty and terrible. The battery has been keeping up though, even running the gaming laptop and running the fridge and all of that. We are 1% up from where we had started when we started the day. So my initial idea of being able to run this indefinitely out in the woods with my mobile office and, refreshments and food and everything seems to be a worthy choice. Gonna be doing this again on a longer duration when the state's not on fire, but I think I'm gonna leave it here. Like I said, a little bit of a different format, a little bit of a silly video. I really hope you enjoyed it though. I had fun getting this set up. Thank you all so much for watching though. Be sure to check the links in the description down below if you want the Anker SOLIX for yourself or the PS400 solar panel. Any of that. Huge thanks again to them for sponsoring, but I will talk to you all in the next one.